Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about my top 5 tips for beginners trying to learn the guitar online. For those of you who haven't watched my other videos, I recently went through the process of learning the guitar online, and it can be pretty difficult, especially without feedback from the instructor and just navigating your way through the guitar. So from my experience, I just wanted to cover a few pitfalls I went through, how you can avoid that, and how you can make the process just a little bit easier for yourself. Now, if you haven't checked out my progress playing the guitar, I put the link down in the description to the 30-day series where I document myself learning how to play the guitar. So like I said, I started learning the guitar like a month and a half ago, and I'm not a professional or an expert either, so definitely take my advice with a grain of salt. These are just a few tips that helped me out along the way. Without further ado, let's get right into it. Tip number 5, incorporate finger stretching into your routine. Now, finger stretching isn't something I saw covered in a lot of online courses. I only saw it in a couple of them. I'll link one of the actual videos to you down below, but it's really helpful when you're trying to get used to new chords. So here's a quick shot of me finger stretching.
So here's how I learned how to do the stretching exercise. Still don't have it down perfectly yet, but I'm practicing. So find the 5th fret. It usually has a dot right next to it. Should be the 2nd dot down. Put your index finger on it. It's on the low E string, by the way. Strum it. Let it ring out well. Put your middle finger in the next fret down. Same thing. Now your ring finger. Next fret down. Finally your pinky. Next fret down. Once they all ring out, take it backwards. Once you get stuff down, you can take it higher and higher. If it's too hard for you, take it lower and lower. So that's pretty much the gist of the stretching exercise.
So tip number 4, this advice was given to me by one of my friends, and that's to practice switching chords with your eyes closed. This just helps you switch chords without looking at it. That's why you're doing it with your eyes closed. That way, when you're actually getting into strongs and you have to focus on things like strumming patterns, you can look at your pick strumming and you don't have to worry about your chords as much. No real video of me showing how to do this. It's pretty self-explanatory. Just close your eyes and then practice switching between different chords. It overall even makes it easier when you do have your eyes open. It just gives you a lot less to think about and makes the whole action a lot smoother. Now to tip number 3, which is to keep strumming while you're switching chords. Now, I don't know about you guys, but when I started off, especially when I was playing songs, when I switched between the chords, I would actually pause my strumming, so there would be a disconnect between the chords, and obviously with the song, that just doesn't sound really good.
When I first started playing, I'm going to show this to you with the A and D chords, right? I was going like this, A chord, and then I'd pause my strumming, and then switch it to a D. Then I'd pause again, take it back to the A. How it should sound is so to start off with, just focus on one thing. No matter what you're doing with your left hand for switching chords, just keep your right hand in the same motion. Just keep it strumming to whatever beat you're strumming to. And don't stop, just keep that going. So yeah, I want you to keep strumming with your right hand, and then to make the chord switches a bit smoother, what you want to do is, when you're counting 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, when you get to the 4th end, you can lift off your fingers and make a subtle strum, so you can't hear it as much. And then when you're back to 1, when you're supposed to be playing your next chord, put the fingers down. and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. What I'm currently working on with this is obviously when you're doing the switch, like when I'm going from D, and then when I lift my fingers up right there, it doesn't sound like a D or an A. It's like a little offbeat, which is mostly fine. It's going to be fine in the song, but you can still tell a little bit. So as you keep practicing this, jumbling up my words. As you keep practicing this, when you switch, it gets a bit faster, and a bit faster. That way, in the end, when you're good at this, I haven't reached there yet, but it's going to be at a point where you only lift your fingers up at like the very final millisecond after the last 4 beats, and you'll be ready to go again on the first beat. So it'll almost be seamless.
Tip number 2, this one might seem like common sense, but common sense isn't always common practice. The tip is to make sure you get a chord down close to perfect before you move on to the next one. Now in the beginning, this is going to be a little tough because you just got a new instrument, you're just getting started, it's exciting, you want to learn a lot of new things really fast. At least that's where I was at. And I just went from chord to chord to chord. And in the end, I realized I didn't learn any of them well, and I was messing up on them easily. When you start off each chord, look online, whoever you're learning from, see how they're holding it, look for the proper way to hold it, and practice getting that right each time. With that, I'm also going to show you a little technique I learned that helps both with learning a chord properly and also for switching between chords. It's kind of like a double dipper.
Alright, so here's how it goes, right? I'm going to show it to you with the D chord and then the G chord. So with D, it's like... Make sure you can get it to ring out every time. And the start, go as slow as you need to. You might be starting off like this. Make sure it rings out well, slap, and then, yeah, just go as slow as you need, and you will slowly get faster as you keep doing this. Now let me show it to you for G. I'm currently learning G. So, you see how long it takes me to get into shape for it. Yeah, so that's the basics behind it. And once you're starting to switch between chords, what could be helpful is you can go D. Say I'm going from D to G. You just slap, D, and then alternate. Slap, G. Slap, back to D. Slap, back to G. And then you want to try to get that faster and faster. So that way when you're actually playing something, it becomes a bit easier to switch between D and G. See, I still got to get it down right. I'm still not there yet.
Now for my number 1 tip, start playing songs as soon as you can. Now in the beginning, songs might be a little bit intimidating, but nothing is going to teach you how to play guitar faster. Now don't just play any song either. Try to find songs that you enjoy and play those. A lot of songs you and I listen to, they might have complex chords, but a lot of online websites have simpler versions of the chords for beginners like us to start off with. A lot of times when you're just doing drills like switching between chords, it can get very frustrating and boring, and it's going to be really hard to keep practicing. But if you can throw a song in that you listen to every day and you enjoy, it makes the process a lot more enjoyable. Now, all these top 5 videos for some reason tend to have bonus tips. I don't know why it's not like top 6 or top 7 tips. People always want to call it top 5 and add their own bonus tips. So I'm going to do the same exact thing. Now, I decided to make these the bonus tips because they really apply to anything, not just the guitar. And one of them I talked about in my 30-day guitar series, which is to split up your practice sessions. Especially for people on a time constraint, you might not be able to find too much time, and you might opt to doing 1 hour on a Sunday, which seems fine at first, but you're going to get a lot more value if you split that hour up into like 10-minute sessions throughout the week. Now, this may seem like the same amount of practice time, but distributing the time amongst all these days really helps your brain learn it much faster. I'll link you to a few articles around this, but just trust me, this is going to help you out a lot. And it's especially going to help out your muscle memory. Now for my other bonus tip, and this tip really goes for anything you're trying to learn. Just practice staying consistent. Consistency is the ultimate key to learning and mastering anything you want to. After all, if you just give up on something in the middle, you're not going to get any better at it. I know when picking up a new skill or habit, especially something like learning a new instrument, it's going to be really tough. You're going to struggle a lot, and it's not always going to be fun. I know in my own experience, I was considering giving up every other day. Trust me, practice for like 5 minutes, 3 minutes, even a minute or two every day, every other day. No matter how tough it is, keep coming back to it, because those little bits of experiences add up and you will eventually get better at it. Just don't give up. I promise it's going to be worth it in the end. Those are my top 5 tips. I really hope they help you out in your journey learning the guitar. I know they helped me out a lot. And let me know how your progress is going so far if you're just starting out. I'd love to hear about it. And also, if you have tips of your own, please add them in the comments too. I'm sure they're going to help people out. And if there's anything I missed or you have any questions, also throw that in the comments. Or how was your day? I don't know. Just throw anything in the comments. I want to hear from you. Otherwise, I will see you all next Tuesday on, I don't know, it might be like this channel update type video, or I might be starting off a new skill. You guys will find out next week. Until then, peace.